Greetings, scum. Jen Neela here, with a new transmission. Still, nothing's changed for me, although today I was not very interested in doing a full transmission with video, so this will be only audio. I was rather bored this week and unsure of what I really wanted to share since I didn't really have any updates from this closet. Other than being bored out of my mind, I was spending a lot of time at least being connected through the internet, and I came across a very interesting article. It's something I'd like to review and at least consider what this person has to say. This person wrote an article about Captain Phasma, who is not me, by the way, but she titles this article very interestingly. Captain Phasma deserves better than her Star Wars The Last Jedi storyline. Written by Swapna Krishna. Well, I guess I'll just read through it and see what she has to say. If you haven't seen Star Wars The Last Jedi yet, then you need to go somewhere else. Oh, this is a old article. I wonder how I got up on this corner of the internet. This was written 2 years ago, but just about. So, right after the premiere, I guess, of my end. This article contains spoilers for the ending of The Last Jedi. If you're still reading this, then spoilers are your own fault. Cool? Cool. If you have seen the movie, though, then you are aware of the sad fate of Captain Phasma at the end. Well, I mean, I'm the one to know. So, yeah, she fell into the middle of a fiery explosion as Snoke's ship was being destroyed. Presumably, she's now dead. Now, it's possible she survived. After all, her fate was unclear after she was thrown into the trash compactor during The Force Awakens. But the comic series from Kelly Thompson and Marco Cicchetto filled in those blanks. Yes, although it didn't really make her look so powerful now, did it? We've seen Star Wars villains come back from worse. Darth Maul was cut in half in The Phantom Menace, and yet he became one of the most intriguing villains of the franchise thanks to his role in the TV series The Clone Wars and Rebels. Phasma could still have a future in Star Wars, but from what we've seen so far, it's unlikely. I know. Sorry to say, I don't think I will be showing up. I mean, Captain Phasma will not be showing up anytime soon. But why has she had such a lackluster send-off in not one, but 2 movies? The answer goes back to this picture, huh? What picture is that? Remember this? This picture accompanied the first casting announcement for Star Wars The Force Awakens and set off a firestorm of speculation and excitement across the internet. But relatively quickly, many fans, most of them women, noticed something troubling about this photo. Can you see it? Okay, well, appears to me it's a black and white photo, so maybe that's symbolic of, the dark side and the light side. I mean, I don't know too much about it. I'm just a very important officer in the First Order. At least I used to be. So looking through it, I can see, well, there's some new characters in the back. I see Luke Skywalker there in the corner. I see some other characters. I think that's Rey. I believe I see FN2187 in the corner as well. He's in the upper left. Otherwise, it just looks like a normal Resistance conspiracy meeting. I mean, they're probably plotting to destroy the First Order as usual. I don't see any representation there other than, that's just about it. That's right, there are 14 people in this photo. 3 of them, Daisy Ridley, Carrie Fisher, and Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, are women. Well, good for them that there's actually some women there, right? Representation. It's unacceptable. And after the furor that resulted, the movie announced more women had been cast. Huh? One of them was the resplendent Gwendolyn Christie as Captain Phasma. Is that why I exist? Because there was only 3 earlier and they had to add in another woman? What? Look, I don't know anything about the early scripts of The Force Awakens. I have no clue if Phasma was always a character, and they just waited until after that initial table read to cast the role. But my enduring suspicion is that she wasn't. My guess is that after the vocal response of fans frustrated with the apparent lopsided gender dynamics of the new film, Abrams and company panicked. They wrote additional female characters such as Phasma and Mons Kanata into the script. Again, I may be wholly wrong about this, but considering how small Phasma's role is in The Force Awakens, I don't think I am. Wow, well, this is quite a conspiracy theory benefiting me. I'm not trying to criticize them for the decision. I'm glad it happened. Star Wars needed more awesome women. Well, I mean, I think everyone agrees with that. But it's hard to argue that Phasma doesn't exactly play a huge role in the film. Well, you could say that again. Although, I think I'm still awesome. It's just they chose not to show me in an awesome light. You know how it is. Whatever origins everyone, including me, expected, then that Captain Phasma would have a bigger role in The Last Jedi. She makes her debut late in the film, but it's pretty spectacular. But then it's over. A duel with Finn in her moment, and likely her role in the franchise is gone. FN2187, that's right. Curse you. You weren't even like a skilled person in the First Order. You knew how to shoot with a blaster and scrub floors, and that's as far as I know. I was a little bit humiliated by the fact that you got that last blow on me and destroyed my helmet. It's surprising for multiple reasons with the release of the aforementioned Captain Phasma comic as well as Phasma by Delilah Dawson. It seemed as though she was being set up to be a big deal in The Last Jedi as a real arch rival for Finn. Well, I mean, it's kind of a little bit lopsided in that way too, because I'm totally superior to this one lowly stormtrooper. I guess they were hoping that he would actually prove himself to be better than me, but I mean, it just comes across as him getting that one lucky shot at me and won his battle just because I wasn't looking at the right direction, which is dumb. And to be fair, when the two met, it was pretty spectacular. I don't want to downplay that, but the fight was over all too quickly, and Phasma, in her resplendent chrome armor, met her end. I loved so much of The Last Jedi, but the fate of Phasma is one of the few storylines I take issue with. Why kill off such an awesome character? Oh, well, thank you so much. So fast, without giving her any sort of on-screen character development. After all, Gwendolyn Christie is a gift and a treasure. Surely we want her around for future films. However, Lucasfilm might want to close the chapter on John Boyega's Stormtrooper past and open up new narrative opportunities for him. Well, honestly, I think the best narrative that he can have is that he gets what he deserves for betraying the First Order, and I want his past to come back and haunt him for the rest of his life, and maybe have a very bloody and humiliating ending, just like mine. There might not be a place for Phasma in the new First Order that results after the events of The Last Jedi. There might just be too many characters. Or, Phasma could actually be alive, though I doubt it. Whatever the reason, I'm sad that we didn't get more of Captain Phasma before her fiery end. I was hoping that the backstory we got in the books and comics were hinting that Phasma was going to betray the First Order and forge her own path, perhaps as an anti-hero. Wait, how did they know about that? Who knew that I was making any sort of plans like that? That's kind of strange. After all, if there's one thing we've learned about her, it's that she looks out for no one but herself. And that kind of moral ambiguity is refreshing, especially for a female character. We'll miss you, Captain Phasma, and the potential of what you could have become. Well, I think Captain Phasma would be rather touched by this article. Whoever this writer is, they definitely are a conspiracy theorist. Not only do they believe some people were purposely added into this film just to be token female characters, but it kind of exposes a lot of the scheming that she had done for the last few years, that perhaps she didn't like the First Order very much, and if push came to shove, she would just walk away from it all if she could. No one would believe a story like that. I guess I would just have to say, I enjoyed reading this article. It's interesting to see what people have to say about me Captain Phasma on the internet. Gosh, it's going to be hard for me to remember that I'm not Captain Phasma. What I've always found interesting is that neither the Resistance nor the First Order have any issues with women being in places of power. I would expect us, if we, the First Order, were the evil ones, that we would never have any women in power, and that we would always be looked upon as just being assistants to whatever males were involved. And so I believe the First Order might have better motives than initially propagandized by the resistance themselves. Although, what is the First Order really trying to accomplish? Are we trying to empower people? And is the resistance main goal just to empower people? Might just be all a power vacuum struggle. You never know. Taking a look back at that picture again, I mean, it's all black and white. It's not very putting a lot of focus on the genders or the skin color or the alien races involved in this. I mean, if you really want to analyze this, I don't see a single alien other than humans. I see that one droid in the back, but clearly it's more just about people coming together. It seems that wherever the First Order goes, there's always people plotting to conspire against us. If Captain Phasma was just added because of a response to people's anger, I find that rather strange. Was I born of anger then? That seems rather poetic. How many other people in this world are born simply out of anger? Usually it's born out of love, but it seems I was meant to appease people. And even so, if I was just added to provide some representation, they didn't have any excuse to draw me as a plain, one-dimensional character. I think I have quite an interesting life. Perhaps I have more adventures to tell in the future. I feel quite comforted and encouraged by this article. Perhaps I can stay here just a little bit longer in this closet, and I'm still hoping for someone to let me out, but for the time being, I feel comfortable where I am. And perhaps I will find my place on the internet as time goes by. But you know what? Maybe in honor of Captain Phasma's death, perhaps I can forge my own life. But now, what is that exactly going to be? Maybe to show off a anti-hero persona of sorts? Maybe I just need to promote her and make her seem like a more interesting character than anything that the movies were able to show. Or perhaps I just need to erase some of the scripts here that are saying that she had any false motives. And maybe it's better just to start from scratch and have people know that she's always been loyal to the First Order and never even possibly considered betraying them. It's all FN 2187's fault. The only reason I let those shields down on Starkiller Base was just to save my own skin. But clearly it wasn't that. I had a whole other plan about trying to get them down later, but it just didn't work out, right? But at least I see one fan here on the internet for Captain Phasma. Perhaps there's some hope after all. But then again, this was written 2 years ago. What do you think the chances are that people think differently? I'd like to know a little bit of your input as well. If you can give me some responses in the comment section of this transmission, I very much appreciate that. It's time for Captain Neela to forge her own path. There is no First Order for me anymore. But perhaps I can join a new one. And I might have more to say about that in the future. I think that's all I have to say now. Jen Neela, signing out. No matter who you are or where you've come from, you are always scum.